What's going on YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here. Once again, thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. It's a privilege and honor to be able to make these DIY lawn care videos, as I haven't really said in a while. I am not a professional. I'm just a regular dude living in Central North Carolina with a regular day job, and about 4 years ago decided I wanted to try to have a nice lawn. So here we are, and we have pretty much accomplished that goal. And we're continuing to educate ourselves as we go forward, try some things, see what works, see what does not work. So thank you for tuning in today. Hit the like button below to help my videos get out to other DIY people out there that say, man, I don't know if I can do this lawn care thing. I've got a whole history of videos showing that anybody can do it with a little bit of YouTube education and a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of money in your budget. You can make a nice lawn happen in the lawn that you have right now. We're in September. The end of September, and now is the time to be working on that cool season fescue, Kentucky bluegrass type lawn. And so now is the time, not spring, now. Today, guys, I want to go back to something we talked about actually on the Friday video. I think I've finally been thinking about it. I'm up early this Saturday morning, been watching the U.S. team suck it up over in Rome, Italy in the Ryder Cup. So disappointing. These guys look like, there's rumors that COVID is spread among the team, and that's why they weren't really energetic or in it. But still, these guys are professional golfers, and to see them playing that bad, it's just it's crazy to watch. But I enjoy watching the pro guys out there. But I want to take you back here. I want to show you my mow from yesterday, which looks amazing. The color, the lawn, it's just fall just itself just adds like this element to the lawn that you can't get besides this time of year as well as early spring. So let me show you the lawn and show you what my idea is. Hopefully we'll be able to accomplish in this video. So yesterday I went ahead and got a mow done because I'm playing in a church golf tournament down in Wilson, North Carolina today. And of course I did the slaying and little cut here, but man, just look at the overall picture of the lawn, guys. It's looking just stellar. When I was mowing, I bumped that tree and a bunch of leaves fell down. So it's that time of year where the leaves are really sensitive. But the lawn, the color, just that fall element just looks spectacular, man. And then when you add in the fertilizer and the biostimulants, it just looks better. But as I mentioned to you guys Monday, walking out here a little bit, I've already decided this area right here was concerning to me. And I took my garden weasel, I tilled up some of this, and I put some seed down without any peat moss or anything else. And for those that may not have kept up with my channel videos, why did you do that, Mr. Ferguson? To break up the ground, seed to soil contact, all that good stuff? No. We put what's called dithiopyr pre-emergent all over my lawn to help stop Poa annua growing in the backyard. This backyard has not been overseeded for, this will be year 3 that it's not received seed. Actually, yeah, we're the start of year 3. 2 years, no seed. This is all 2-year-old seed. And right here, we have to break up our ground, break up that pre-emergent barrier that we put down in order for seed to be able to grow. It's like an invisible barrier. And so what we discussed last video is, will fall fix this or not? And I've been thinking on that video how it's thin. I'm not going to mess with necessarily this area. We may keep this area as our test. Can fall fix this area? We seeded right here in front of this little wooden A-frame right here, but like things like this, you see how overhead it's just so thin. And we talked about it over here, very thin. There's roots right here, as you guys can see, things like that. But I'm specifically talking about down here, like right in this area, and maybe some right here. We may take the garden weasel and tear some of this up right here and just go ahead and put triple threat seed down and let it grow. This is the time. Like, we're in a limited window where if we want to, we're going to go the next year with the lawn that we have. But I'm thinking, you know, this area, it's been run over by the mower so much, it's not been revitalized with seed. I think that I need to do that. I did do that down here in this area to the corner of the rock area. But this area, you can just see some of the dead, and obviously we probably need to hit it with a rake to kind of remove some of the dead. That's the idea, that's the video. Spot seeding in a otherwise pre-emergent applied lawn. We can still seed. It would be a waste of the product that I put down, but leaving that applied to the bulk majority of the yard, we can come back here to the thin area and then start just tearing some of this up right here, and then just apply some seed and just let it come up and just water it as we can. All right, guys, so we're going to do this, and let me just start off by saying this is going to bother me unless I do it. And I know Friday we talked about, well, can fall fix this? Let's find out. You probably know me by now. I'm too eager to see this done correctly than to leave it to fall. Just like leaving it to, hey, we'll put this down, the rain will come and water it in. Doesn't happen all the time, right? So what we're going to do is we got Mr. Fancy Rake here, just a regular old leaf rake here. I'm just going to rake some of this because we do have some dead grass in here. Not sure how well you guys can see that, but hopefully it will just open up to seed to soil contact. That's the goal. But just going to try to do this section right here. I've done this down here, so not going to mess with that. But just as you see, this dead stuff is coming up. So you can absolutely do this in your lawn. If you said, hey, I've been watching your videos, never done anything in my lawn, I've got some good grass. Whatever your case may be, now is the time to work on your cool season lawn. If you're a zoysia guy or girl, if you're Bermuda, that's warm season. That's not what we're referring to. Cool season being ryegrass, Kentucky bluegrass, fescue. And primarily, well, pretty much all of my lawn is fescue, besides a very, very, very small part with our shade mix back here, which is ryegrass. So as you see, the dead is just coming out, right? We want to clear that out. We want to remove the dead. Man, there's so much spiritual that I could talk to you about here. We got to get the dead at, if you're following me, we got to get the dead out of our hearts. We got to get the dead out of our lawns. Why? To make room for the new seed. Jesus talked about that, didn't he? Our world thinks it's an old dusty book, but man, I'm telling you, it applies to my life. It applies to your life. Whether you know it or not, it does. So we're going to rake out all the dead. So you see, very simple, very easy. I watered some of this earlier after the intro. So you just see, look how quickly we just get all that dead out. And go another way now. Let's go down. All the good grass, it's rooted. What's it doing? It's hanging on. Spiritual. All the good things that the Lord has put in us, it'll hang on if it's rooted properly, right? But what's coming up? Everything that's not rooted. It's like a working midweek quickie. I like this. All right, so thanks for those that have not tuned out yet. I'm going to hit some of this too because I just know it needs to be done. So there we go. So you quickly see, hopefully you can see the dead. Not walking dead. The dead that was here that needed to be raked out. Now again, I've done most of this down here, not this well. This was needed. So you can see, look at all this, quote, thatch, dead grass on top. So we're just gonna, luckily, I've got woods here, and toss this here. Too easy. So after we get the dead out, now we have to take Mr. Garden Weasel, the guy that I can never remember. Sounds like the old West, right? And these things are pretty cheap. Get them online if you need it. But now, because I have a pre-emergent barrier, and whether I had a pre-emergent barrier or not, I would do this. But just this little section, this strip right here that we're handling and doing, we want to tear the ground up. I have to do it because of the dithiopyr. I've got to get that barrier broken up, or else the seed will not be able to grow. That barrier is supposed to stop it from growing. Nothing's supposed to come up. Nothing on top can go down. There's a barrier there. We must break the barrier. So we don't have to come out here and aerate our yard, but what we want to do is just hit this, and we should see little chunks of ground come up just like so. And even after I lay my seed, sometimes I like to come back and lay this down, and I want to try to not get over there where I've already done. I don't want to mess up any new seed that's coming up. But as you see, it just kind of does a great job of getting the ground broken up. And everywhere I miss that I don't do this, likely, guess what? It ain't going to grow. So that's the challenge. We want to make sure we destroy that dithiopyr barrier. So there we go. So now, garden weasel done. So we're just going to simply now take our bag of seed from last year where we did the front yard. Triple threat. It is a local blend of tall fescue grown not too far from my house. And we've got existing grass here. We don't need, this is not bare ground. We don't need to throw crazy amounts of grass seed out, but we don't want to, you know, we don't want to go thin. We want it to grow. So I'm just hand throwing this down, not even calculating it, just hand throwing it down. I raked like this way. So we just throw it out like this. Hopefully y'all can see that. But I'm at the bottom, throw it uphill into this area. It'll scatter pretty evenly. And again, everywhere where I didn't tear the ground up, it shouldn't grow. And that ain't no problem. It's bird feed then, right? But everywhere that I did, we've got plenty down. We're broadcasting it out. Even some over there, some over here. Make sure we get everywhere in the area. I don't want to tear it up and not put new seed down. So there we go. And now the seeding part is done. So last two steps. Number one, I like to take the garden weasel again, get all the dead out of it. And again, if we're going back to our spiritual analogy, since you're already here watching me, this is where the word of God is like seed. God puts the word of God in our hearts. We begin to meditate upon it. But then if we don't water our seed, what happens? It don't grow. Jesus said, I am, what'd he say? I forgot. He said, he told the woman at the well, if you drink from my cup, you'll never thirst again. What did he mean by that? You're coming to a well to get water, and you're going to have to come back and come back and come back. Man, that's how my life was before the Lord, that's for sure. I was playing around with drinking, playing around with other things, and it's like I'd do some things, I'd feel bad, I'd come back to it, do it again, feel bad after a few days, or after I did it, say, Lord, forgive me, come back to it. But man, when I truly got serious with God, he changed my heart. I kept coming back to him, and he waters that new seed he puts inside your heart when you truly say, come help me with this problem. Man, he answers when you're serious. You're like, well, and there's a lot of people, you know, the internet, when you talk about the Lord, man, talk about that stupid God stuff. I'm just telling you my life, man. I don't need anybody to believe me, to make me feel good or anything like that. I know what the truth is, because I know where I used to be. My wife knows where I used to be, the man I used to be. So, all right. So now we've taken our little, just lightly garden weaseled the top of the ground, and any seed that should have been sitting on the blades of grass should have hit the soil. So two more key things. And I'm going to have to get the first part, but we're going to clean this out. Garden weasel, you're worth the 30 bucks or so I spent on you. Rake, good job. Good work today. Thinking about the rider team. Good job. You did well. All three of you guys. So there's one more step. Let me go get it and I'll be right back. So the last step, and this is not a mandatory step, this would be just fine if I continue to water it, but I have a little box of peat moss I showed you. So being I have it, I'm going to use some of it. This lasts a long time, actually. It's a little, I think a home company or somebody that grows it at their house or something in, I don't know where, but it's just peat moss. But we're just going to lightly peat moss these areas now. Do you have to do this? No. Does it help? In my opinion, 100% absolutely yes. And more, I'm hitting the bare areas, because peat moss is, why does it work? Why would you, somebody just messaged me the other day, I put straw down, now I've got all these weeds coming up. That's what straw does. That's why I do not use straw. Once I learned, well, crap, I've been doing straw, and you're right. That little lime green weeds come up. What is that? It comes from the straw. We don't want straw. I don't want straw in my lawn. No straw has ever, well, I can't say ever. Back in the day when my dad did my lawn, I believe they did bales of hay in my lawn. But I do not want, I've never put straw in my lawn. And on this GCI, I never will, because that's what happens. It just puts weeds in. Peat moss stays. It's a messy job. If you got a roller, like people have said, it works way easier, cleaner. But I mean, doing it by hand is perfectly fine. Just, you know, wash up afterwards. It's not that big of a deal. But it helps hold that moisture on top of the seed, and you get germination faster. There's been some recent videos about people talking about pre-germinating your seed. It's a lot of work and hassle. I mean, sort of, kind of, in a way, to pre-germinate, then throw it out. I mean, if you got the materials, if you got the ability, man, go for it. Pre-germinate. I don't see any problem with that. It's just not something I would do. Peat moss brings it up in like 4 days. Why the heck would I go through all this stuff of pre-germinating my seed? Now, Kentucky bluegrass, different story. May be worth it to keep it on the ground so it don't wash away. For sure, I can see the benefits. But there you go. So we're just kind of lightly throwing out some peat moss in this general area. And the last step, and the most important step, I would probably, well, they're all pretty important, so I can't say most important, but you got to water it. You got to water your seed. Now, it's important to keep watering it for at least the next 5 days. 5 days. Give yourself 5 days. Every 5 days, I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to water this area. That's what I do. If I can, I'll also do it in the evening when I'm thinking about it. Water this area. I've got an area here. I got an area here. I've got a new area here. I've got the area right here in front of this A-frame is what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to mess with this section, as we said on Friday. We're just going to see what happens. Does this fill in on its own? And wow, fall just fixed it, because I'm looking at mower tracks and stuff here. So that's it. Just a working video of a little spot seeding area. Even though we pre-emergent our whole yard, we're stopping Poa annua in our entire lawn. We can break that barrier and we can put down seed. And now's the time to do it. Even though I don't care what soil temperatures are, it's cool. It's just the natural knowing or feeling of this is when you want to plant seed. The leaves are falling, got a light breeze. It's like a totally different North Carolina right now. So mission accomplished. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you with my Jesus talk, but hey, it's in my heart and it's in me to talk about the good things of God. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get the, if you're not a Christian, I don't mean to throw Jesus at you, but try him, test him, call upon him, see if what we're talking about is not true. I know it's true, but see, let him show it to you like he had to show it to me. Even though I'm a preacher's kid and I heard it all my life, I had to go out into the world and figure out what was real and what was a lie. And I learned quickly that what my parents taught me was correct, and that I figured out on my own what was true and what was a lie, who loves me, who does not love me, how much God loves me. And it brings me to tears when I seriously think about it. But we're going to water this now, so that's the next important step. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this spot seeding in my backyard. I'll keep you updated on how it looks, as well as the project lawn. God bless you. We'll see you next time.